All right, guys, welcome back to Maverick Tactical, where we're all about personal protection, tactical gear, and keeping you safe. Today, back by popular demand, Dave Joslin. Good to have you, Dave.
Thanks, Patrick. Good to be back.
We're going to talk a little bit about flashlights today. So we're going to get into this and tell you about some different scenarios and why you might need certain flashlights, what reasons you might need them, why you would need them, and things of that nature. So let's get into it.
Patrick, did you know when the idea and the concept of the first tactical flashlight or weapon-mounted flashlight started?
I do not.
It actually traces back to 1912 when a patent was submitted to the U.S. Patent Office by a man named George Seeley for a weapon-mounted light under the barrel of a revolver as a night light so he could light up his sights and fire in the dark. And it was this weird contraption that was a combination of springs and rubber, but the tactical flashlight goes back to 1912. And then through World War II, it gained a little bit of popularity in the trenches. And then in the 80s and 90s, with the advent of SWAT teams and urban tactical teams, they gained popularity. And then through the global war on terror, they became a household name in tactical households, where we are here to talk today about tactical flashlights.
Yeah. So we want to look at all the different reasons why we would carry. We've got some samples here on the table, guys. And Dave, let's walk us through some of the different scenarios or why I might have a flashlight, who might have a flashlight, what reasons, things of that nature.
Well, if you learned in my my medical kit video, I always start with the why, right? Why do you want a tactical flashlight? What's your purpose? As you can see, we've got some weapon-mounted flashlights. We've got helmet-mounted flashlights. And then we've got some handheld backpack, pocket-sized flashlights. So you kind of have to, again, explore the why. Why do you want to carry a tactical flashlight? Do you want something that's going to be weapon-mounted? Do you need something for your helmet? Or is it something you just want to carry with you every day just to have that extra level of preparedness? And then when you go through that, then you kind of narrow in a little bit on what are the features and what are the things that you're looking for in your flashlight. There are some certain accessories, tools, and features about flashlights that would make them tactical over just a household flashlight.
So let's talk about some of those. What if somebody looks to carry a tactical flashlight in a backpack or every day, maybe, what are some of those key features that we want to look for?
So first of all, you want to look for something that's waterproof, right? Anything that's kind of tactical, it's going to be able to be deployed and used in an austere setting, right? Something that's going to be used all weather, regardless of whether it's humid, rainy, dry. You want something that's going to be able to survive the elements. Next, you want something that's lightweight. Most of them are manufactured and made from aircraft grade aluminum. Yeah. So it's really lightweight, very durable. I mean, you could jump on these things. We ran over them with tanks and Humvees and they were fine, right? The next thing after you look at the durability, which is what it's constructed of, and the waterproof and water durability, they come with a couple of different types of switches. Some of them will have switches mounted in the body. Some of them will have rotating bezel switches. Very popular are the tail cap switch, yeah. Right? So you look at the type of switch that that's going to work for you, depending on how you want to utilize it. Then some of the other features that they come with are the ability to control the illumination, right? The lumen. Nobody knows what a lumen is, but it's a measurement of light, right? So you want to be able to control that. They usually have a bright setting, a dim setting, or the ability to range that brightness between their top setting and bottom setting. And some of them come with a strobe feature as well, yeah. Right? So do you know why people would want a strobe feature?
Well, the main reason I think of strobe is for distraction. So if somebody comes to me at night, I get up in the middle of the night, I've got my firearm, just like what you've got here, a TLR-7. I've got an 8G on my Glock 19. If I have that at night, I can put that strobe, man, that is really disorienting, right?
Yes, so you can, for confusion, disorientation, it gives you that tactical advantage of another second or two if you catch somebody off guard. But also for something that you might carry in your backpack or in your pocket, if you're out hiking and you get lost and you need to signal, you can signal rescue either airplanes or helicopters really well with those strobes. In a backcountry setting, those strobes will carry a long distance, and that could mean your survival as well.
That's pretty cool. I hadn't thought of that, actually.
Yep. And then some of the other more aggressive features about some of the tactical flashlight is some of them come with what's called a strike bezel, right? So this Surefire I had on my carbine over in Afghanistan. It was purely designed and intended to be a weapon mounted light, so it doesn't have that. But you can see the difference between a smooth bezel and then a strike bezel. And this is made to be used as a secondary weapon. So if you're hand to hand and you need to grab skin and tear flesh, that's exactly what this is designed for. Some of them, I believe, like one of the ones that you have, actually has window punches and glass punches on them as well. So if you're either trapped outside of a vehicle or trapped inside of a vehicle, it can help you egress or ingress whatever you need to do to either get out or get in. So that's kind of tactical flashlights in a nutshell.
The thing that I think of, a couple of features that I'd like to discuss on a couple that I have over here. I think of like on like this EDC style, you've got a clip here that can be a hat clip, or a pocket clip. So that's pretty cool. We could put it on your hat right there, and you could do your work hands-free, right? So that's a pretty cool feature. This one also happens to have a magnet on the back. So if you're working somewhere where you've got some metal and you want to...
Big advantage for that.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So magnet, that's something to think about. You mentioned the glass brakes. So this particular model, the Phoenix TK16 has the glass brakes there. So again, you've got that glass brake capability there as well. Most of these lights also, at least the ones we carry, have the feature that you can cycle through, like Dave's talking about, 4 different type of scenarios of low, medium, medium, low, medium, high, high, and then strobe. Well, if you click this tail button on and off and then go to the setting that you like, typically these lights have a memory chip in them.
Okay.
To where when you turn that light back on, it comes back to the feature that you had, the setting that you had. Right. So you don't have to go slide all the way through all those. So if you keep it on high all the time, that's what you want it on.
Yep.
You hit that tail switch and it comes back on to that brightness, that same brightness. So that's a pretty cool feature as well.
One of the other things to consider, and I noticed like your O-lights and some of the other ones that you carry are rechargeable. And that's a very important thing to investigate, is the battery life at high burn, right? And if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the advertised battery lives on some of these are at low candle burn, right? So you've really got to understand how much you play with it, if you're going to run it at high burn or low burn, to look at the range of the battery life, because what you don't want to do is be relying on this, go to activate your light for whatever purpose you need it for, and then it just not work for you.
Right. So we have, a lot of these lights have 5,000 milliamp batteries, really, really strong, good batteries. But you're right, even at some of these, you look at maybe 30 minutes for a high burn, it'll go like 10 hours on moonlight,
right?
On the lowest low, right?
Yeah.
So you can't say, well, yeah, my light will burn 10. It will burn 10 hours, but you're probably not going to use it most of the time with that. But generally speaking, the Phoenix and the O-lights like we carry will give you a long burn time in that average medium or so range, many hours, several hours. And then you can recharge them back. They have different ways to charge. I want to say that one's on the outside. I don't know this right off. Anyway, this one opens up as an example. This one opens up and the battery itself actually has a little place right there where you charge it. So, and that's that 5,000 milliamp battery. So that's a really nice one there. But so that's some of the tactical flashlights. As far as like, some of the other type things, what else would you like to discuss on, what have you got on your helmet there?
So on a helmet, this is a Princeton Tech or a P-Tech, I can't remember the model number. This is specifically for low light situations where in a helmet where I might need to revert to a map, read a map, interrogate a room, do a quick search. So this has a white light and a green light, so you can have some tactical light discipline, and it has a bright and a dim setting. So it's got 4 different settings, so it gives you a little bit of versatility, but it adds hardly 0 weight to my helmet. And it just allows me to have a light source that's gonna move with my head and look where I'm gonna look. And then on the back, I'll probably get dated for this because the old soldiers will know what this is, because this has probably been improved 3 or 4 times, but I love this thing. This thing has never failed me. A strobe feature with an IR filter is a good personnel identifier. So we would turn these on if we were maneuvering for our team. That way ISR overhead or pilots overhead, they could pick this up, but the enemy wouldn't. So they would know where friendlies were to avoid any green on green incidents. So yeah, so for me, when I go to, and I brought a few different options with me, right? Kind of like what we talked about med kit. When I look at layers of medicine, I look at layers of light, right? What I want to do is be able to have a light available for me if I'm searching. If you have a tactical light that's on your pistol, that could become a legal consideration for you if you start searching with your pistol, right? You could accidentally come across somebody that wasn't meaning you any harm, and now you've just pointed a weapon at them, right? So if you're gonna have a weapon-specific light, that's great. I obviously have a couple of them, but I also have some handheld lights. If you're gonna have a helmet and you're gonna be operating in a fully armored loadout, then you want to make sure that you have something that you can just click on and that's going to move around with your head, that you're going to not have to take away a hand where you might need to control a crowd, you might need to interrogate the room and look for sensitive items. So you want something that is hands-free that will mount up to your helmet. So yeah, you kind of start with your eye and figure out what the need is. You look at the things that you want to use it for. And then again, like I said during the medical kit, then that's the fun part. Once you know what you need, then go shopping.
Yep. So I actually brought a couple things that over here that are more, you're on the tactical side more so. And I want to also look at some of the items that are just maybe simple everyday items. This is a great seller that we have. It's a little Phoenix mini light that you can clip this on where you can put like a
neck lantern, or?
Well, I guess you could do that. Keychain is what really the main thing I think of. But this features a red light as well. So if you're reading a map, or it actually has on the red feature, I'll show you as it goes to red. It has the red light, plus then also it has the red flasher. So if you're on the side of the road,
oh, very nice.
You want to set that up in your dash or whatever. So that's a nice feature there too. So this is really a cool light just for somebody every day, and it's a very inexpensive light. It is rechargeable as well. You've got that USB-C charger there available, and so up to 500 lumens on this as well. It's got like 3 or 4 settings, as well as the red light and the red flasher. So good little, something to have in your car or with you on your keychain. I like that. Also, Olight offers this, which is called the O-Clip, where you can actually clip this. So like a police officer, I've had police that come in, put on their Molly. You could put that right there on your Molly, clip it right there. And you got, like you said, similar to the hat, hands-free, similar to what you've got there. You got that hands-free light. So that's awesome. That's pretty cool there as well. And then over with the Olight Arcfeld, we talked a little bit about this earlier. So this actually has 3 settings on it. So you got your regular flashlight, then you turn this button, you've got a green laser pointer. So you got a laser pointer, pretty cool. And then you got the UV light. So I'm gonna put you on the spot. What are applications of that UV light,
My immediate thought on a UV light is if you're doing some kind of forensic interrogation of a scene and you're looking for organic matter, for blood splatter, something like that, the UV light's going to be really good for that. And with my professional line of work right now, the laser pointer, being a PowerPoint ranger nowadays, those would be come in handy as well. So good urban applications there.
Yeah, and then got the belt clip and the hat clip as well there. You see that, and then. What's cool with Olight, I like the little magnetic, so you can charge it.
Absolutely.
You got the USB charger there as well. And then also weapons light, the Olight Valkyrie there. It also has the pressure switch that you can buy separately. And again, is that magnet. So it just goes right on there, on that magnet. Oh, look at there, it's even through the packaging.
That's pretty sharp.
I didn't realize that was even like that. That's funny. But those are some, different things there as well.
The one thing with the pressure switches on lights, very dynamic feature. Like any other piece of kit, folks need to train with that. I've heard a lot of team guys talk about having pressure switches and going back to a tail cap switch to avoid an accidental light discharge. Because when you are trying to execute the element of surprise and you rock your weapon out, and if you grab that pressure switch, you could activate your light and give your position away. So it's not that you shouldn't have one. By all means, they're deployed all the time from tactical teams all over the world, but it's important to train with it, right? You need to develop that muscle discipline to know that you're going to activate it only when you need to activate it. You don't want to give your position away with an accidental light discharge. So,
and you think about where you're mounting it. If you don't remember that and you pick up a firearm that you haven't picked up in a while, or if you have them mounted in different places on different firearms, where is that one? Was this one on, this side? Am I activating it with my thumb or my fingers on which side, right? So I do actually have this one too that I didn't mention. It's very similar to the small this small light, but this is just the Olight version. Very similar light, but I did want to show you a couple features, which is pretty cool in this one. So you see the lights are very similar in size, but this is a little charger container. So it tells you right there, I don't know if you saw it or not, 88%. So you can charge this up, and then that just keeps it charged, right? So it's going to be charged all the time. Keep that in your vehicle or in your backpack.
Kind of like AirPods.
Or whatever, yeah.
You can just recharge them out of the case.
Yeah, but what's really cool, a couple cool features on this too is, this is a battery in itself, right? It's a battery, that's what it is. You can hook this up and charge another flashlight. You can charge your phone.
Very cool.
So you can actually—
That's a good feature.
Yeah, so you can actually use that as a charger. Also, I didn't know this until recently. My rep told me this, he showed me this, is that you can actually hold this button in. If I can make sure, I'm going to make it work here. And it's not going to work for me now that I'm showing it on camera here. That's funny. Okay, there it is. So you see it on the low. If you hold this button down, it goes all the way up.
Oh.
Yeah. Ooh.
It works.
And then hold it back down, it goes all the way down again. So you could actually have this and keep it in here and shine it at whatever brightness you want. Kind of cool. Little cool feature there. But that's that version as well.
Awesome.
Was there any other? Oh, I did want to mention this one too. This is really cool. So think about this, Dave, maybe a scenario where you would need this light. This is actually Phoenix's white laser. This is a white laser. So it casts a beam. You think of laser obviously as what we looked at earlier, right? That little fine beam. This is a broader beam. This shoots 5,000 feet, almost a mile, in a straight line. That's a white laser. So if you shine it out, we've shined it across like a field where you're hitting the trees. It's maybe like, I'm gonna say where we were, maybe 10 feet, like a 10-foot beam as it goes out further. So it's not something again, what are you using it for, right?
Right.
I would not sell this to somebody that's, wanting to look in their house, right? To go around the house and look around or things of that nature. But somebody that's out in a lot farther distance, that's what you're looking for something that shows a long ways, that's a great.
Definitely see some of the former work that I did in Alaska, search and rescue operations. If you need to illuminate something that's at quite a distance to see if we need to send a search crew to interrogate a certain area or to verify if we thought we saw or heard something. That's impressive to put light out that far. So.
Well, that's some of the examples that we have of flashlights. Is there anything else that you want to wrap up with?
I can't think. I mean, if you like the videos, don't forget to go like, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you come back to look for more videos from Maverick Tactical. I'll be joining the team from time to time to give my opinion and my worldly view from my experience. So appreciate you having me.
Yep. Dave, thanks for being with us. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Comment down below. Tell us what kind of lights you have. Tell us maybe some of the things you use your light for, and maybe some of the ones we haven't shown you. Maybe there's another scenario that you would use your light for. Again, throw some comments down there. We'll talk about them in our podcast as we do our podcast. Maybe they'll come up in the Q&A. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.